What it do, Super Potters? His name is Aaron, and he is typing on a Word document.
His name's Tommy. Stop! What's the time? Tommy time.
Yeah, and you're listening to the Super Pod Saga. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. That's right. This is the Super Pod Saga. If you accidentally started listening, I'm sorry. But if you want to stick around, that's cool too. This is the podcast where Aaron and I, and often a guest or two, will talk about a different video game topic every week. And we just keep talking and talking and talking.
I'm ready to break this fucking topic. I wrote down a couple that are like really stretching it. Like really, really stretching it.
You're going to be talking about Madden, I feel like. Bringing the Madden questlines.
That deep Madden plot and lore. Finally somebody's doing it.
The best world building in video games. John Madden himself.
We've got.
What about Tommy Lasorda? Come on, man.
Yeah, Tommy Lasorda baseball. Oh, Aaron, don't pretend like you don't know Tommy Lasorda.
Our age is showing, Wulff.
Is that Sammy Sosa's
legendary
nickname?
Manager? No. Tommy Lasorda Sosa?
I know Sammy Sosa. Who is the barbecue sauce guy? Ken Griffey Jr.
I don't know where you got that from.
Notable Simpsons guest star, Ken Griffey Jr., of course.
That's it. No, who's the Futurama guy? Hank Aaron Jr. Hank Aaron.
Yep, that's a legendary baseball player. You got it.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
You might have heard the voices of our guests. We have two of them here today. It's Jake and Wulff from the Press B to Cancel podcast. Hey guys, how's it going?
Great. Thanks for having us this week.
Yeah, for sure. Tell the listeners about yourself and your podcast, and also like what video games you like if you want to. Take turns, please.
Jake, you want to take this first?
Sure. So Press B to Cancel is a podcast we started about, I think, 4 years ago. Damn,
It's been
a long time ago.
Ooh.
We're mostly a retro-focused gaming podcast, but we do talk about modern games occasionally, and I go by Sick Jake online or just Jake. I got 3 kids. I like VR and I like old shit. So that's just me.
Cool.
Beautiful.
I am Werewolf. Pretty eclectic assortment of games is what I'm into. Anything from RPGs, platformers. I tend to get sunken into indie games a lot these days. Like, I have AAA games on the shelf I've been meaning to play, and I just don't because I'm like, Shovel Knight Dig, Binding of Isaac. You know?
Yes.
If it's an indie roguelite, I've spent way too much time in it.
I've witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah, this is Aaron.
I watched you play
2.0.
that one Mega Man game on stream that one time. That was really, really rad.
30XX. That's a good one too.
Excellent. Where can people find the podcast on the internet or social media and stuff?
You can find us at pressbtocancel.com. Most of our stuff is there. We're an audio podcast available from everything from, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify if you want to. I don't judge. But we're also available on YouTube, youtube.com/@pressbtocancel. We started doing video about 1.5 years ago. So you can find us there as well. So however you like to watch or listen, you can find us at Press B to Cancel.
Oh, that was very well read. Well done. Aaron, now it's your turn. Where can people find Super Pod Saga if they want more of our juicy goodness?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. Oh, that was quite the knee puller there. Yes, superpodsaga.com. All of our previous episodes, our blog. Leave a review on the website if you like us. You can find all of our social medias there, even our Discord server, and of course the support page because we have a Patreon. You can get bonus episodes.
Support, you guys.
Yes, emotional support, financial support.
We lean on the fans.
Yes, please.
If I subscribe on Patreon, I get emotional support from you guys?
No, you give us emotional support.
Oh, that's not nearly the deal I thought it was.
It's the emotional support of knowing they don't have to pay for the servers.
Exactly.
You mean you're not making money off of podcasting? Shocker.
Oh, man.
Shudder at the thought.
That's a thing?
I mean, if you're Joe Rogan, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Fear Factor himself. That's
what I call
I
him.
forgot he hosted that.
Right?
I don't. Obviously, fear is not a factor for you, but Joe Rogan's voice.
Ooh.
Before he talks shit, he was eating shit on Fear Factor. That's his brand.
That's good.
Yeah.
but we're here to talk about things we're not afraid of, like video games. And would you guys like to know what the topic is today?
Let's hear it.
We're going to talk about our favorite quests or best quests from video games. Good video game quests. Yay,
The questy
right?
kind.
The
Yep,
questiest of quests.
exactly.
But before you get to hear our correct opinions, we're gonna read the Discord and Twitter opinions, the incorrect opinions. This is the D&T Q&A. Is that what we decided? It
Yeah.
stands for Discord and Twitter question and answer.
Absolutely.
You can
It's
join
like it's like the league with the EBDB BNB BLT, the Eskimo Brothers database, bed
What
and
do you-
breakfast BLT. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's
You haven't
exactly
seen
like
that, Tommy?
No, what is that?
It's a show.
That's
It's on Hulu.
That's the name of the show?
Yeah, the league. It's about these dudes. It's
Oh,
got
the
Nick
League.
Kroll.
I thought you
Yeah,
meant
the
that.
League.
Yeah, I watched the first season of that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Back to video games. Join our Discord and you can answer questions and we will read them verbatim like this. Aaron said, "What's your favorite quest in a video game?" Backwheel said, "Oblivion, Dark Brotherhood, and Mage Guild both were amazing quest lines."
hell, dude, Dark Brotherhood is always good.
Oh, we know. I can't see a handprint in public without saying that. It's
You-
impossible.
You kind of like you pull like what the fuck? What's the fucking show? American Horror Story. You'll be like like you'll be out in public, be like
Even-
freaking out.
The wife is not a gamer. She's never even seen Oblivion in action. And she knows the we know thing because I say it so much. I saw a handprint on the rear windshield of a car once. I have no idea if it was supposed to be Dark Brotherhood, but I looked at her and she looked at me and I went, "They know." And she was like, "Oh my gosh."
That's
Hun,
fun.
It's time to die. Sorry. Hopping over to the old T train, Twitter, whatever the fuck. I'm still not calling it X. I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
Deleted saves. He says, he gave us a lot. Okay, here we go. Blood Ties, Fallout 3, The Dark Heart of Black Hall, Fallout 3, Point Lookout DLC, Ghost Town Gunfight, That Lucky Old Son, I know that one, Fallout New Vegas, Investigating the Noshkel Mines, Baldur's Gate, Pouring Forth Oil 4, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah. I know that last one. I know the last one. That's a good one.
I was hoping you would. You're our resident RDR everything lore master, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
That's me.
Mhm.
Back on the D, Exodiac. I think that's how it's pronounced. Sorry if it's not. The
Yeah, it's
Lighthouse.
Zodiac.
Don't you interrupt me ever again.
I've never sensed more murderous intent in your voice ever on this entire show. Worth
The
the
lack of disrespect from a co-host. What's that feel like?
Exodiac said the Lighthouse Woman from Nier.
You're just
I
gonna
don't know what
skip-
that means, but
You're
but
just
sounds
gonna
good.
skip the
Probably
Roach
near
Lord?
Automata, but I've not played enough of the game to know the Lighthouse Woman.
I think it's from the first Nier. Because he's
might be.
put Nier. Yeah, you skipped a person, Tommy.
What? Oh, I did. We'll get back to it.
Okay. Hopping back over to T-Town. Bad Elephant Gaming. This sounds gross, T-Town. I'm not saying that again. Bad Elephant Gaming. He says, Tom here to say, oof, oh man, I don't know how to say this. Cafe/Anju reunion storyline in Majora's Mask. A showcase of how the game's scheduling systems allow for NPC storylines to interweave. And it can have multiple endings based on your actions. Cool for its time, still impressive today. That does sound cool. I've never
Multiple endings are always cool.
gotten
Good old
past
Star
the first.
Tropics 3.
I've never played that one. I'm sorry, man.
No.
I've heard of them.
I refer to Majora's Mask as Star Tropics 3 because it trolls the player so much.
Oh.
Yeah, I have no patience for Majora's Mask. I love Ocarina of Time, but
Mhm.
Majora's Mask is it's Groundhog Day, but in the worst way possible.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. I can
Sorry.
see that.
I'm sorry to your
I'm
listeners,
not a
but I
fan.
disagree.
No need
It's
to
okay.
apologize. We are the talkers here, so what we say is fact.
Oh, that's how it works.
You're listening to us, so you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong.
No.
Going back to the big D, the Roach Lord said, "Come fly with me, Fallout New Vegas, Ronnie the Witch Blades quest line in Elden Ring."
Come Fly With Me is a good one in New Vegas. All of New Vegas, honestly, it's good. I love New Vegas.
not played it. My computer
Yeah, it's
didn't
on
like
my
it
list.
when I tried.
Hmm.
Back when I first got it, my computer was like, "You want to go just a little bit while sneaking? Too bad. You're gonna go like 30 feet to the left, even though you let go of
30
the
feet
key
to the
20
left.
seconds ago."
Dang
Like,
it.
I couldn't sneak anywhere. I was being discovered everything I did.
You're like Spaghetti from Tim and Eric. They can blatantly see you behind that like rubber plant, like your whole body sticking out. Holy shit. Anyway, this is a really good one. I love this answer. Shooty McFace in Borderlands 2. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh,
So literally all
that
you
was
do
a
is
good one.
you just go find a guy and he says, "Shoot me in the face." You shoot him in the face, quest over.
Yep.
Beautiful. Done
And
and done.
if you don't do it right away, he keeps like asking you too. Like he's like, "Come on,
Yep.
just do it. Come on, please."
Also, that's it for Twitter. So I'm hopping over to D Town.
Let's get on that D, Aaron. Let's ride that D.
Okay. Okay.
Real Dave Jackson said Sigmire from Dark Souls 1.
I don't remember that one.
I've never played Dark Souls 1, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We still love you. All right. Chan, bring it back, Dracula, just to kill him again in Castlevania 2. I'll give that 100 emoji. Yeah, take that, Dracula.
Nomad said, I loved the Dark Brotherhood questline in Skyrim. Great characters and great loot make this a fantastic questline that trumps the main story. And shout out to the funniest side quest ever, Shoot This Guy in the Face from Borderlands 2. Look it up if you've never heard of it.
Oh, we've heard of it, and it's a great one. Then Hocham, Hoocham, still don't know how to say it, but thank you for leaving an answer, though. Retrieving Mary Lewis's underwear in Stardew is surprisingly endearing, especially because of the different reactions to what happens.
Oh,
I
yeah, that
did
was
not
a
do that
good
one.
one.
Is that
It's
patch added, or was that always there?
No, I think that was always there. I remember doing that one. It was kind of funny because you find out that he's sleeping with somebody in town
Yep.
that you don't know until
Damn.
that
Man.
point.
Stardew is
And it's like, dude,
deep.
get it.
My wife was freaking out when she discovered that. She was like, "What? He's..." And then like 3 days later, Hocham replied again and said, playing Skyrim in middle school and randomly stumbling upon the Sheogorath quest and the little society corruption quest in Markarth ? Were super fun.
I don't know what that is.
No, I
that's-
didn't know what
yeah.
I didn't know what any of these were. I realized after I picked this topic that I actually haven't played a lot of RPGs.
I remember
Sheograss
those.
stuff is always great because he's the god of chaos or something. So he had a
Yeah.
whole section in Oblivion that was really, really
Oh.
great.
That was
Oh.
with the dog, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun quest line.
Dang it.
Cool.
And then last one, Chris A&C, who you skipped. Sorry, Chris. Don't worry. I've got your back. I've got you. I loved the crucifixion. Shit. I loved the crucifixion quest in Cyberpunk 2077. I have not played that, but it sounds cool. Crucifixion is
yeah, if
always
it's got a
pretty sweet.
crucifixion, man.
Yeah,
I-
cross.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jake's gonna tell us a little bit about that one today.
Spoilers.
Oh,
Thanks,
yes.
Chris.
No, we'll cut it out. We'll cut it out.
But
We'll cut it
yes, we're going to talk about that one.
Nah, leave it in.
I have something from Red Dead, so we'll get there. Everyone will get a turn, and they'll get to talk. But thank you, Discord and Twitter people. You're so funny, all of you. You have such good answers. Oh, amazing people.
They're all attractive in their own little way. It's those
Mhm,
little. I'm about to get all Barney, I guess, but it's all those little quirks that make you. You know, you're special. I don't know.
Yeah.
What
Someone's
what
off.
the fuck?
Someone's a little
What's
a little
happening
off
today?
about everyone, but they're still cool.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I've had too much caffeine today. I'm weird. Let's just go.
Let's get even weirder. Let's get to the experts. It's us four. We're gonna talk about our favorite quests in video games. And since I picked this topic and I'm the host, I'm gonna start. Okay, everyone ready to listen?
Okay.
Everyone sitting cross-legged on the floor.
Yep. Chris
Cross-legged,
Cross
yes.
applesauce,
On the
baby.
floor, no.
Yes. Exactly. Thanks, Jake.
I'm gonna start with Red Dead Redemption to get it out of the way, and I want to talk about the "I Know You" mysterious stranger side quests from
Ooh.
Red Dead Redemption. So you know Red Dead Redemption. You're a cowboy in a cowboy world, doing all the cowboy things, and when you're going at one point when you're like riding in the wilderness, if you go to a little question mark thing, It's a guy in a top hat and a mustache just standing out in the wilderness. Doesn't fit in at all. Like, he's obviously not supposed to be there. And you go and walk up to him.
And
He's
you
like,
kill him.
hello. No. I'll
Oh.
get there, Aaron. Just
I
you
know.
wait.
I'm just joking. I know. Yeah.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke.
Yeah.
You
Thank
interrupted me again, but it's okay.
You're just keeping little tally marks on, like, you're scratching them into your desk with your fingernails, like this son of a bitch.
I've actually been doing it for 60 episodes, and now it's finally crossing the line. You walk up to him, and the guy's like, hello, John Marston. And John's like, do I know you? And he's like, do you? Because I know you. And he explains about how, or he's like, do you remember? And he says like a woman's name, and he's like, not particularly. And he's like, oh, well, when you guys robbed a boat or whatever it was called, you blew out her head and her eyeball came out and her brains were on the wall. And he was like, didn't say anything. And he's like, so you don't remember her? And he's like, no. He's like, all right. I've got a friend over in Blackwater who's going to cheat on his wife. Why don't you go and advise him on what to do? And then you go over there and you can either help the guy cheat on his wife or tell him not to. And that's kind of where that step ends. Then you go do more stuff in the game. You go down to Mexico, and down in Mexico is that guy again in the top hat, the mustache. He's got a little fire, and he's like, John walks up and he's like, where do I know you from? And he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't say anything. He's like, there's a nun. No, he says, you sure do kill a lot of people. You're kind of famous for that. You don't mind killing people, but the staying loyal to your wife is important. That's interesting. Just like kind of pointing out these moral things. And then he's like, there's a nun traveling over to the city. You should go give her some help if you want to. And again, you can go and either rob her or you can help her by paying her some money, etc. This guy is just like giving you options to be a morally good guy or not. Later on, much later in the story, you find him outside a little your own house, like the John's house that he's been living in for the last few years. And John is finally like had enough. He's like, you need to tell me where I know you from and why I keep finding you around. And he's like, I'm an accountant. I keep tabs on people, blah, blah, blah. And gosh, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what it says, but John gets furious and the guy starts walking away and John shoots at him 4 times. The bullets don't do anything. He just keeps walking and disappears. And that's the end of it. And it's just such a fun, mysterious thing. Like, this guy's obviously not just some dude in the world. He could be like the devil, Satan, or something or whatever. And there's a couple of fun facts. The last place you talk to him outside of John's house is where, major spoilers, is where John ends up being buried. You're talking to him right on his future grave, which is creepy. And in the first conversation, when he tells you about that woman that died on that boat thing, that ends up being the starting section, or like what happens just prior to the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2. It takes place just after that event happened. So it's kind of like a teaser for Red Dead Redemption 2 in a way, but no one obviously knew that back then. It's got so much cool stuff in a game that's otherwise about being a cowboy doing cowboy things.
That's one of my favorite, like, I really love video game mysteries and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my favorites for sure. Like, people keep theorizing that he's the Grim Reaper or he's something like that. But yeah, that's a good pick. Great pick, Tommy.
But if he's the Grim Reaper, why doesn't he have a better hat? Why the
true.
top hat?
Why doesn't he have a hood? He should have a hood.
What do you mean? Top hats are awesome.
Top hat and a mustache and a suit.
But for a cowboy?
Yeah.
Come on.
He's not a cowboy. He's a fancy man.
Oh,
He's a
dude.
fancy Grim Reaper.
They should have made a cowboy Reaper. Like, he's got spurs made of fire, and he's got a sweet fucking horse with like
Not
skeleton
Ghost
horse.
Rider. Come on now.
Yeah.
They didn't want to
Oh.
get
It's just Ghost Rider.
that's true. Fuck.
Giving these ideas away for free. You're welcome, Marvel.
Yeah, I'm ready to just fucking kick the door open and fucking destroy this topic. Any fucking journey that you make in any Pokemon game, because like
that's fair.
It's the main, I guess, goal with any Pokemon game is really to just become the champion, and then from there it's like whatever the fuck you want to do, man. You want to keep playing the game, you want to catch every Pokemon, you want to blah blah blah, but it's Pokemon's just cool because like along the way you're free to just truck along at your own pace, catching Pokemon, making cool memories with your different Pokemon, and talking to different like NPCs and discovering cool areas and battling gym leaders and watching your Pokemon grow. It's just cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
When
Can,
no, you talk, Wolf.
I was gonna say, can I ask a question about which Pokemon games you've played?
my favorite, like my fondest memories of Pokemon are from Gens 2, 3, and I think 5. Yeah, Black and White.
Yeah, I've played all of them, but Gens 2 and 5 are my favorites as well.
Yeah.
See, I've only played Blue, so Gen 1, and then I played through a good chunk of Pearl. So is that 4?
Yes.
And then I played Arceus. So those are the only ones I've actually played. I tried Silver and Gold back in the day, and the time mechanic was just, I couldn't get behind it.
That's so funny. They actually removed it in the Gen 3, so you could have. I was frustrated at that. But yeah.
I got to ask about this one.
Okay.
I need to know.
Okay.
So this kind of game, Pokemon games, and I like the Pokemon games, but I feel like if you're calling this out for the quest line, the story, it's only really a quest if you name your Pokemon. So I need to know, what did you name your Pokemon? And why was it not Penis Chew 45?
Oh man, so cool story. When I was I don't remember how old I was, but I was playing the fuck out of Pokemon Emerald, and I was borrowing my friend's Action Replay. If anybody at all remembers Action Replay, is basically like the Game Shark for Game Boy Advance. And I gave myself every single Pokemon I'd ever wanted in my party. And of course, being a dumb, stupid kid, my Trico was just Gex, because I was like, he's a lizard. He's a lizard, Gex. Typhlosion was Supernova. I just gave them all dumb superhero or like pop culture names, but now fuck. I wish I could just go back now and give them dumb fucking names like Stegosaurus McFlapjacks or something.
I only nicknamed mine once. I think it was Gen 3, and I named them after various Minnesota Twins players. So I had like Johan, and Corey, and Joe.
Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa never played for the Twins.
Albert
Aaron.
Pujols.
Never played for the Twins, Aaron.
John Madden, for sure.
John Madden.
Shaq.
Gretzky.
Could you imagine
Gretzky's a Squirtle?
Could you imagine Wayne Gretzky coming up the bat? He's in his full hockey gear. He's got a hockey stick, and he's like, "All right, batter up."
So I named mine in Gen 1. I don't remember a lot of them, but I was 14 when this game came out. So I named the Charmander Bernie, and then eventually my Pikachu was Sparky.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great names.
And I don't remember what I named anything else. I'm sure I named others, but I don't remember. Those are the only two I remember.
That's fun. Going back to the Pokemon quests, back when I played them when I was a kid, that was like technically my first JRPG/RPG, whatever you want to call it. So like I didn't even recognize the traditional RPG elements, like going town to town and talking to people and having side quests to try and progress further. Like looking back now, it's kind of obvious, but back then it just felt like an adventure. It felt like I was doing cool things on my Pokemon adventure.
And like at the end too. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like,
go ahead.
At the end, when you beat the champion and it's like rolling credits and shit like that, it just and you get to see like your whole party as it is now. It's like, holy shit, that's a huge like monumental leap from where I started, or like where I was maybe an hour or two into the game when I had just a fucking Squirtle and a Caterpie, and now you got like Machamp, you've got like all your roided out boys. It's like, wow, man.
Caterpie's been stuck in the computer for 80 days.
Fuck you, Caterpie, you stay in there.
I would like to mention the Lavender Town segment of the
original.
Like that was super dark. It was this really dark moment veiled in a child's game, basically. Where
Even
like these Pokemon are the souls of the deceased.
It's a dark game, though. It's a dark franchise. It's about exiling children from their homes. That's the premise of Pokemon.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, what the fuck? And you're
I always
Get out of my house. Go make your own living. You're 10.
Yeah.
I sprinted through Lavender Town every time because of that creepy music. And when the sprite came up for a ghost, where it was just like, it's a ghost. I'm like, what are you talking about? There can't be ghosts in Pokemon, and ran away.
Wulff, what's your first pick?
Yeah, how about you take your turn, Wulff?
All right. I got the Mount Ordeals segment from Final Fantasy IV.
Okay, tell me about that.
where
I think I know that.
It's right at the tail end of basically the whole first act of the game, I guess you could call it, where Cecil is, he's really torn by the fact of these horrible things he's done as a Dark Knight for his king, and he's trying to make amends for that. And he gets to the city. He washes up on the shore of the city of where the game opens, where he storms into town with his military, kills people, takes their crystal, and leaves. And just whatever, sucks for you guys, because his king ordered it, and he felt bad about it, but he did it because it was his orders. So he gets there, and everybody in town hates him, and he's just like, yes, I accept this. I get it. I was wrong. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm sorry about what I did. And a lot of people still don't trust him, but he's given a second chance by the village elder. And so he's like, well, if you want to really make amends, you should climb to the top of Mount Ordeals and face your past, and that will be how you move forward. So he's like, okay. He's like, but I'm going to send these kids with you to help you, because it's not going to be an easy quest.
Oh, yeah.
Take these children with
I
you
know.
on a
Yeah,
dangerous
take
adventure.
these children. And they're like 8 or 9 or something, right? I can't imagine my son going off on an adventure with somebody.
Wait
like,
for
I
the
got
end of
you.
this, Tommy.
I got your back.
Okay.
So you go climbing this mountain, and as you're going up, you hear these whispers and echoes of things that you're not sure what they are, but you keep going. And as you near the top, you end up fighting one of the 4 fiends, and you kill him, and you're like, yeah, I did this. I beat his ass. And then he immediately gets back up bigger and stronger because you killed him, and his final form is undeath, basically. So then you have to kill that, and it's a much harder fight. And then you finally get to the top of Mount Ordeals. You go into, I don't know, I guess a shrine of some sort, where it's got mirrors everywhere. And you end up fighting yourself.
Ooh.
Cecil fights himself, of his dark reflection of himself, to try and move past it. And if you fight, you will lose. The entire point of this part of the quest is to not fight, just defend. Heal yourself and defend instead of attacking it, because you're supposed to be growing. You're supposed to be becoming a defender instead of a fighter.
Oh.
And it's his transformation from Dark Knight to Paladin. And you end up hearing this voice speak to you, and it calls you his son, which, but you don't ever see the body. It's just the voice you hear. And he's like, what? That voice sounds, who are you? But in other versions of the game, specifically the 3D remake, you get more backstory to that. You find out it actually is Cecil's father, whom he never knew. But in the original, it's just like, well, that was kind of out of left field, because they cut that whole chunk from the original game. But yeah, he comes back down the mountain as a paladin, much stronger, much more capable. Now he wields light magic. He redeems himself, basically, and that's his redemption arc at that point in the game.
That's so fun. I love
That's
that.
It is really cool.
That's a really good pick, and I apologize, Tommy. I misled you. I guess I'm gonna spoil part of Final Fantasy IV, but like one of those kids ends up getting turned to stone or something.
Oh, that's later. I didn't.
My bad. My bad, Tommy.
When did Final Fantasy IV come out? Do you guys know off the top of your head?
91.
91.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that level of storytelling was happening.
It was one of the first ones.
That was the first RPG I ever played. I was 10 years old. It was summer between, I want to say, 4th and 5th grade. And I was just like, what is this? This is amazing.
It was one of the first ones in the series to have a story that deep, because like up until that point, like 1 was just, hey, 4 heroes, oh, bad guy dead, and then 2, I don't remember, and then 3 was basically like, save the crystals, 4 heroes, and then and then you get to 4.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV goes places. I mean, it's a game where you ride around in a whale, you go to the moon, and
Yeah.
it goes places. It is a good game. It's limited sprite work for the time and the graphics, yet they managed to tell a surprisingly deep story. And it only gets better in that franchise going forward. It's really something to see.
And that
Awesome.
3D remake for the DS is really, really cool. Like,
Yeah.
who's the martial artist character?
Jeremy.
Yang?
Young.
Jeff.
Young.
Yeah, Young. He's seeing that like intro cutscene where he just hops in and whoops some ass in 3D. That's really cool. What about you, Jake?
What about you, Jake?
Well, there's a game I've been playing. I played it. This is the second time I'm going through it, and you guys have not heard of it before, and neither is your audience. Well, except Chris. Chris and I have played this game. We played this quest. This quest is called Sinnerman, and it's from a game called Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to start by saying, when I played this game when it first came out, and all its jank, the first time in this quest, you're basically given this mission. You're a merc for hire, and you're told to meet your contact in a parking lot. And you go meet this guy named Bill. And he's like, look, I've cashed in my life savings. I need revenge. This murderer who killed my wife is being let out of prison. I need you to kill him for me. And you're like, all right, what? I don't judge. Sure, give me the money. And there's a short car chase with you and Bill in your car, and you're chasing the cops. And it comes to a standstill in the middle of the road. And I'm going to murder this guy. So I hop out of my SUV and I just charge the cop car, gun shooting, and I murder this guy.
Yeah.
And Bill's very happy. And I get my 5K, quest over. Little did I know,
Nice.
until I just played the game. I'm replaying the game now because it got a huge update and it has DLC. Little did I know, that's not how you're supposed to do that quest.
Oh.
You're not supposed to murder the murderer. What's supposed to happen is you get out of the car slowly so that the contact Bill comes with you. You walk down, you saunter down the road, and the cops kill Bill, just like the movie.
Oh.
And you have a conversation with
Bill.
the prisoner named Joshua. And he explained, and it's a whole thing. His name is Joshua. He's a murderer. He's killed dozens of people. But he found God while in prison. And he wants to do something with his life to give meaning and to help other people. He's basically redeeming himself. And he's like, oh, look, I'm a terrible person. I'm an awful guy. I know. Just spend 24 hours with me. Just spend a day with me, and I'll pay him twice what he was going to pay you. I mean, Bill's dead, but it's okay. I think you could probably do the quest in a way that Bill's not dead, but he's dead. But you can still get paid if you spend 24 hours with this convict. So you agree to it. It's the weirdest thing.
Right on.
You're like, the cops escorting this guy is paid off. They say they're paid off to take this guy out of prison, and he's like, get in the vehicle. And I'm like, all right. A stranger saying get in the car. Who am I to argue? You hop in, and Joshua explains what he's going to do. He's basically, his plan, he was reached out to by some media studio movie company. They have this future tech called Braindance in Cyberpunk. It's basically fancy VR, right? I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Strange Days. Basically, Braindance is where they record the experiences of a person, visually, smells, sights, sounds, feelings, all of that, and they put on a disc, and then you can experience that as a media in the future. So he wants to get himself recorded as he's being crucified.
Oh.
And by doing that,
Shit.
and then this company will sell it to people because that's what they do in the future. It's the snuff film of the future. He doesn't need the money, but he's going to pay out the victims of his crimes, give you money as well. But this braindance of his crucifixion will hopefully impact people to change their ways, to not be violent, to have some kind of redemption themselves. That's his plan. This is a sci-fi game about drugs and leather jackets and crap and hacking.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves. We all love Johnny Silverhand. This is like a serious quest, and these are the quests that I like in games, the ones that kind of make you think, or at least you'll forget half of the game. But this is the kind of quest that sticks with you. And it starts off with you're in the car, you drive to the house of one of your other victims, or his other victims. It's the sister of a brother that he killed, and she apparently forgave him, wrote letters in prison to him, the whole 9 yards. And you're just sitting at a kitchen table having a beer, as you do, And the convict is talking to the sister of one of his victims, and they're just hashing out about what his plan is. And she's like trying to talk him out of it. She doesn't want this guy to die like this. It's just wild. There's a tense exchange with the mother of the guy he killed, and it's just deep. And meanwhile, your character is just sitting at the kitchen table, and I don't even know what to say. What do you even think in game as a character when somebody says, "Hey, I want to be nailed to the cross," and it recorded for mass media consumption? So it's interesting. Like, you end up going to the diner, you have a last meal at a cafeteria, it looks like, and you meet the director of this VR thing they're going to record, and she's a piece of shit. She's obviously telling you, look, don't discourage him. We need him to do this. People getting paid over this. You'll get paid over this. Fuck religion. Just let's just record this guy's death, because that's what will get us the ratings. And you just absolutely hate this person. But there's different dialogue options. You can sympathize with the guy. You can try and talk him out of it. It's a very surreal encounter. And the quest kind of stops after that meal. And I wasn't sure, did I do it wrong? Did I pick the wrong thing? It's just mysterious. Okay, thanks very much for the day. That was good lunch. Carry on. Here's your money. And I thought I broke it. And then hours later into the game, you get a call, and it's the director saying, "Okay, we're ready to film the crucifixion. Joshua's requesting you. He wants you to be there." What, we're best buddies now? We're friends? Okay. So you go to the film studio lot. There's a protest. There's cops. They're kind of waving you in as you're going through, and you go inside the studio. And the game, who makes a game that actually goes to this detail? They actually set up a set of a giant cross with the restraints. There's a hammer and nails. There's a camera. There's staff all around. And Joshua, you can talk to him a little bit beforehand, but you're given the choice. You can try and talk him out of it, which apparently doesn't work. You can say, "I want nothing to do with this," and just leave and walk away. Or the game says, Joshua says, "V, I want you to be the one to nail me to this cross."
I knew it.
And you can do it. And I'm not saying you just hit X button to nail you do. You hit X button to nail him to the cross. But you actually have to nail each hand multiple times.
Oh, no.
And he screams out every single time.
Gosh.
And there's the option to quit and walk away. But if you want to, you can go through the whole thing, hands and feet and the whole thing. And then there's a final big red button. You slap the red button and the cross is raised up. And the quest does not finish until you watch him die. And it's a solid 60 seconds of nothing but silence. It's a darkened room. This guy's nailed to a cross, and you watch him die. And then you just turn around. You walk to the director if you want. She's smoking a cigarette. And you ask her, "Well, what now?" And she basically says, "We're going to get paid. I'm going to go home and spend 2 days getting wasted, but we're going to get paid. Thanks very much." That's the quest.
That's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's good.
Yeah, it's so impactful. It makes you think about, in a dark future, is that where media goes? The exploitation that we see today online and social media, is that the logical conclusion to this? I hope not. But just that the game designers wrote this quest line, and you can go through the whole thing, or you can walk away. And it was very impactful, very memorable quest. And people can hate or love Cyberpunk 2077, but I think the quest that I'm going to remember the most is this one, good or bad. And it's very impactful writing.
There's a couple things in that quest. One is I never remember that it was called Sinnerman. I just call it the death porn quest.
Yes.
Because that's essentially what it boils down to. And I noticed watching Chard, another host of our podcast, the other day, playing it, that the family that, the guy he killed, they have an ofrenda for Joshua. And he's still alive. Yeah. I'm like,
wow.
They've got an ofrenda for a guy who's still alive. Like, that's dark.
Fuck, man. That's CD Projekt Red is so good at making really memorable side quests. Like, they had, of course, a ton in The Witcher 3, but yeah, that's... Damn, I've never played the game, but I'll remember that for sure.
It's wild to me because there's a lot of quests. There's a lot of quests in Cyberpunk. And a lot of them are barely even quests, really. A lot of them are just, you go to here and you pick up a free item and you're done. I mean, one of the other quests was a guy got a cybernetic dick and it's malfunctioning, and you have to quickly run him to a doctor to get it fixed. That's the quest.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Like,
dude.
It's got that in it,
remember that.
right?
That's the future
Yeah.
I want.
It's so weird how lighthearted some of the moments are, and then you have like this one, and it's an interesting between the really funny, the outrageous, and weird to just really impactful. It's an interesting game. It really is.
Yeah, there are a few really impactful quest lines in that game, but that was probably one of the most memorable for me too.
Yeah,
I love the quest lines that it seems like it totally takes you out of whatever the rest you're doing in Cyberpunk is. It's just like so far away from everything else, but it still fits in and makes you think about stuff. Like in the what's the word? I can't think of the word. You know what I mean?
The context.
Yes, context. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Good one. Good one.
Cyberpunk is a well-crafted game for the most part. In terms of narrative, it's very well crafted.
Yes.
Like, it was janky as hell when it came out. I don't know if it still is. I actually went in tangent, got my hands on the 1.0 release again so that I could install that later and play it again because it was so messed up. It was great.
Wolf's Cyberpunk is the one that has T-posing. If it doesn't have T-posing, he doesn't want to play it.
Yeah, if you can't launch 50 feet off a pedestrian using your motorcycle, I don't want to play it.
Oh hell yeah.
Speaking of janky, Aaron, it's kind of early, but should we do an ad break?
Oh yeah, fuck it. Let's do an ad break.
Let's do an ad break. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, Super Potters? Tommy here. I just want to give a big shout out to our patrons. They are all wonderful, stand-up fellows. Thank you, Adam, Jameson, Jared, and a novel console for your support. It genuinely means the world to Aaron and I to have such handsome, talented patrons. And I truly believe the universe will reward you in some karmic way for being a patron to Super Pod Saga. Thank you. Hey there, Super Potters! You may be wondering how Aaron and I, bumbling idiots that we are, managed to record, edit, and distribute our world-class podcast, the Super Pod Saga. The answer, dear listeners, is Zencastr. Let me tell you more. It is so easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen, knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. It's an all-in-one service! If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SUPERPODSAGA and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. But that's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. it's very important to replace those electrolytes, you know? And I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get one packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And again, 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SUPERPODSAGA, SUPERPODSAGA at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine, but they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. I don't have an idea for this one. Okay.
Oh, I do. Don't worry. I got this.
Okay.
Usually, when we do an ad break, I ask if anyone else has an experience that needs it, but I already know that all 4 of us have already used this product. Let's tell the fans about how much we enjoy sweaty palm liquid secretion surgery. That's right. Each one of us has already gotten surgery to have a certain liquid come out of our sweaty palms. Aaron, what liquid did you pick to come out of your sweaty palms?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. No question asked.
Isn't it great? You just go suckle up to your palm and you go, and you got the Mountain Dew.
Yum, 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 yum.
I did similar. I did Mountain Dew Energy.
Jesus
So whenever I
Christ.
need that hit of energy, I just go, so good. Wulff, what about you?
Sunny D.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one. Just fucking...
I will never have to worry about scurvy again.
Exactly. You get all the vitamin C you need.
All the C you need. That's their new slogan.
Jake, what about you?
Dulex hand sanitizer
Hey.
with the glitter, so I can sparkle and burn at the same time.
Ooh, you get
That's
high as
smart.
fuck off of that too. Just yeah, like the high school kids do, you know.
It's unfortunate
whenever
if your
you're,
eyes get itchy.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever someone at work is like, "Oh, I'm so tired today," I'm just like, "Here, take my palm," and then they go, and then they get the Mountain Dew energy drink.
What What happens if you wear gloves? Does it just like pool up inside the gloves, and then you just
Yeah.
like you chug your glove basically? Chug
Yeah,
a
put a
glove. That's what I'm trying to say.
Put a Ziploc bag around your wrist and throughout the day, and then you'll have a Ziploc bag filled with your liquid.
Beautiful.
You
I
could
love
end
it.
world hunger if you had an infinite supply of liquid from your palms.
Yeah.
Makes
it's
you
great.
think.
It's
You
amazing.
could end scurvy, Wulff. You're gonna end scurvy for the entire world. Just milk your palms twice a day. That sounded gross to say.
Eventually, they're working on making hot liquids work, so you can get coffee as well. But right now, it burns too much.
I can imagine that. What about vinegar?
I imagine it doesn't smell great either.
No, they haven't
Once the
figured out how
coffee
to stop the
dries,
smell.
it's not as appealing a smell.
Thanks, sweaty palm liquid
I
solution
guess.
surgery.
Yeah. Thank you.
You changed our lives.
It's a fabulous product.
I just can't. Holy shit! Could you imagine coming up to a dude on like the subway or just chilling in Walmart, and it's just like, just fucking just noms his palm, just fuck, dude. It's just the wild. That's the future right there. Fuck
That's the
Cyberpunk.
future.
That's the '90s anime future I want. Sucking
So
on palms.
So is this
Yo-
like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but through your palms?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Less spider legs, more wet palms.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Are we back? Oh,
Yeah, we're
hey,
back.
hey,
Yep,
everyone!
yep.
Nice to see you all again. I guess that means it's my turn.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go in a totally different direction from burning crucifix, if that's okay. I want to talk about the Glitz pit section from Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door. So,
All right.
so you guys know Mario, right? You're aware of him.
Mhm.
Yeah, he and I are
Vaguely.
pretty cool.
He's the best plumber in all the land.
In Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, you're going around to different places to collect crystal stars, which is a totally unique and special collectible thing. And the first chapter has you go to like a normal Mario. It's like a grassland, and there's pipes and Goombas and stuff. And the second one, you're inside of a tree, and you have to go and explore throughout the tree and stuff. And there's platforming, puzzle solving, etc. And the third chapter, you go to this place called Glitz Pit, and you walk in there, and it's a big wrestling arena.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I know. And the arena and the locker room backstage and the halls and stuff is where this entire chapter takes place. From the beginning to the end of chapter 3, you are a wrestler. You even get a
Hell
name.
yeah.
They call Mario the Great Gonzalez, and that's what you go by. That's your in-ring name.
What?
Yeah. Everyone calls him the Great Gonzalez.
There's got to be a better wrestler name for Mario. Come on now.
He's the merciless executioner, the Great Gonzalez.
Jesus.
Wow.
And so
How
you
did
start
they not go with like Mustachioed Menace or something?
Yeah. Mustachio is a great luchador name for him.
The red bastard.
Who do I tweet this?
Miyamoto. You just tweet right in. Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto will like he'll sit straight up out of his like mid-morning nap. He'll be like, "Oh fuck, we gotta remake it again."
They're gonna fix it in the remake, I'm sure.
But he says it all in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the crystal star is on the championship belt of the champion, Rock Hawk, the feral nuclear reactor is his nickname. And you start at the bottom, and you have to work your way up by defeating other enemies in the ring. And so you like do your match, and then you go back to the locker room where everyone's friends because it's wrestling, and you just like talk to people and learn more stuff about their past and about the arena and the promoter, whose name is Grubba, and things seem to be sketchy, if you could believe that. And it's just such a fun change of pace to what you were expecting from the Mario RPG formula. Each match also has like a randomized requirement because it's wrestling. You need to do special stuff like take damage at least 3 times or
Rage in
don't
the
swap
cage.
partners. Yeah,
Oh.
don't jump things like that to really mix it up and make it special. And it's just fun to work your way through seeing all these dumb wrestling things in a Mario game, and I love it. It's fun.
That is super cool. Why don't they make a Mario wrestling game? God damn it, that'd be
I don't
really
know.
really rad. It can't be like high school wrestling or shit like that. It's got to be like full blown like AEW like Raw wrestling, like Mario. He's got his
Yeah.
alter ego, and like Bowser is the Undertaker or something stupid. I don't know. That'd be awesome.
Wrestling's huge in Japan. Like honestly, I'm surprised it has not happened. I mean, I think they did a Mario hockey game. So if they're doing hockey, they got to do wrestling. They've done
Dude.
tennis, golf, football. They've done everything except for
They've done
wrestling.
basketball too.
Did they really?
Yeah, on the DS.
Okay.
Yeah, they did 3-on-3.
Yep. It was made by Square Enix, so there's Moogles in it. There's a black mage. It's a whole thing.
I mean, if Wario can do the equestrian in the Olympics game, surely they can do wrestling.
Oh man. Okay. Speaking of equestrians, my next pick is just the stupidest fucking shit ever. So Elder Scrolls 3, right? Original Xbox. So there's a quest called The Falling Wizard. And literally all it is you go to this hold that laughter, hold it in.
I'm not laughing.
Okay. Well, you go to this certain spot on the map, and you look straight up at the sky, and after like a minute or so, you see this NPC falling from the sky, and obviously he fucking dies because he hits the ground. and you loot his body, and after you loot his body, the quest is done. You complete the quest. Go you. But amongst other things in his inventory, you can find these scrolls. I forget exactly what they're called, but they increase your acrobatics by like fucking 1,000 or something ridiculous. So you can max out your acrobatics for like a couple minutes, and in doing so, you have super fucking human superhuman jumping height. But of course, once you land, you're dead. But so you have the potential to break the game with these couple times down the road. But of course, you've got to level up your HP. Because when you have more HP, you can probably survive the fall. But it's just a stupid, dumb quest that I only discovered because I watched my brother play the game one time, and he was just like, "Hey, bro, watch this." And he went to this one spot and stared at the sky. I was like, "What are you doing? You can go literally anywhere and do literally anything. Why are we staring at the sky?" And he says, "Just wait." And then this dude falls and dies, and I was like, "Wow!" And then you loot his corpse, and you get max jump height, and it's like, "Wow!"
Yeah,
That's so
this
silly.
one I remember very, very well. I think this is right after you leave Saint Denis headed for Balmora. I think the intended way to discover this is as you're walking, you hear a scream and thunk on the road behind you. So you turn around and all of a sudden there's this guy just pancaked on the ground. And I think what it was, you're right about some of the generalities, like the acrobatics is just shot through the roof, but I think it's only for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's just enough time to make the jump, but by the time you land, it's worn off. So you don't have the extra acrobatic skill. You get hurt and die.
Yeah, that's right.
And so he didn't use another one before he landed, so he didn't make it. Because he's got a journal on him that explains this all and everything. It's really silly.
Yeah,
But yeah,
really silly, but it's also like a tutorial in a way because Morrowind
Yeah.
had a fantastic custom spell system they never quite replicated in other games. Because in Morrowind, you could do the alteration spells that let you fly or jump. Sorry, it was a jump spell. But then you learn, because of this idiot Fallen, you learn to add slow effect to your jump spell so that you land gracefully like a cat instead of like a splat on the ground. I love that part of the game. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's really quite good.
So out of the blue, like you'd never expect it. And the fact that it's an actual quest too. I mean, of course, you don't get it from anybody. You just get like the quest starts as soon as you hear, I think it's like him screaming or like he falls or something. And the quest objectives are just like save him or whatever, and then loot his body, and then it's done.
It's just kind of like Ah!
It's the best. Speaking of splats, come on, Wulff.
Yeah, well,
All right. I
Splats.
got another one. Yakuza 0.
Ooh.
Okay.
yes.
Disciple of the New Order is the quest line. If you don't know it by name, it's the cult quest.
Yes.
Should be, you know. So it's this really bizarre cult that when you're playing as Majima, not Kiryu, you come across this cult in Sotenbori, and there's just so much weirdness going on in this cult. Like, they earn points by tithing 100,000 yen at a time. It gets uncomfortably gross at some points. Like, certain girls are, if chosen by the leader of this cult, can earn additional points by special favors with just him. So like it gets gross, right?
Mhm.
So it starts off seeming silly, and then you get to that point and you're like, whoa. Like now you're like, okay, these people, like there's a scumbag in charge here. We got to do something. But this cult brainwashes these people and, detach, as cults are tend to do, detaches them from their loved ones and their family and all this, right? And the cult is like, yeah, whenever anybody gets hurt, we just pray them better, things like that, right? They really get in weirdness here. Well, it comes to a head when you finally meet the leader of the cult. And Majima's like, no, dude, I'm putting an end to this. I'm going to kick your ass. And so you beat the crap out of him. Ultimately, once Majima's done with him, he's got multiple broken bones. And he's like, I need to be taken to the hospital. And all his followers are like, no, we're going to pray you better.
Yes, that's right.
That's how it works.
Like, you were turned
Thoughts
on to
and
this whole
prayers.
thing by the mother of a girl who joined the cult. So you ultimately help her out of the cult. But yeah, all the followers are just like, we'll just pray you better. And then you leave it at that. So
Rip that
karma
dude.
comes back and bites the guy in the ass hard, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
I love that ending. I've forgotten that's how it ends.
And apparently it's based on a real cult that happened
No.
in the mid 90s.
That was the I think that's the Japanese death suicide cult that did the subway attacks. It was
Yeah,
serious
in Tokyo.
gross thing
Shit.
too. Yeah.
They used sarin
they were
gas.
messed up. Yeah.
They used what?
Sarin gas. It's
Oh man.
not a good time. But yeah, apparently this cult turns up in multiple entries, but Yakuza 0 is the only one I encountered them in. And I've only played 0, 1, 2, and 3. So, but yeah, that was
that
I
franchise
loved that
is
ending.
full of amazing moments. Like I watched you play
Yes,
through
it
a few
is.
of them, and it's just such weird, bonkers, off the wall stuff I would not have expected from
Oh,
a
man,
game like this.
The heart of the Yakuza franchise is all the side quests.
Yep.
It really is. Like,
Mhm.
the soul of the game is definitely the main story, but the heart is all the quests. It's great.
One of my favorites is this isn't a pick, this is just like just bullshit, but one of my favorite ones in Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon is the one where you come across this homeless man and he's like, my pet, like Charlene or whatever, is lost. Can you help me find her? And it turns out she's just a fucking lobster that like fell into this trash filled river that the homeless man lives next to. So you as Ichiban, you're trying to like fish and like sift through all the trash and like try to find his pet lobster Charlene. I forget if that's its real name or not, but that was Yakuza. That's the goofiest fucking shit side quest ever. It's great.
I love the party in that one too, right? Like it's a riff on JRPGs, the combat system.
Yes.
Your wizard is basically the homeless guy who shoots
Mhm.
fire with a bottle of alcohol and a lighter. Like, that's his fire attack.
Oh my
It's
summons
gosh, I gotta work my
pigeons.
way up to that
it's
one.
so good. Yeah, pigeon summoning. It's just so good. It's so weird though.
Speaking of pigeons, what do you got next, Jake?
Okay, I know my last one was kind of deep, a little bit too serious. So let's get a little lighthearted. Let's talk about The Witcher 3. It's one of my favorite games of
Yes.
all time. And one of the earliest quests, lighthearted, fun, involves a character called the Bloody Baron.
Mhm.
And
Oh, I know this one.
yeah, it's so good. So the Baron, basically you're in a country that's been taken over by an invading army. you end up encountering a local baron who is on the losing side of that war. He's called the Bloody Baron because he was just a notorious reputation for, killing and being terrible prisoners. And he kind of carved out this tiny little piece of kingdom for himself. And I'm trying to remember what he hires you originally to do. I think it was to find his missing wife and daughter, is what it was. And he's just this huge, gross, disgusting human being. He's basically throwing money at you. But your main character that's kind of what he does. He's a monster hunter for hire. He's a merc, and you take the quest, and you're investigating the house for clues of where his wife disappeared to. And you quickly come across bloodstains and signs of struggle, and you very quickly realize the Bloody Baron essentially is a wife beater, and that's likely why his wife and his daughter fled. And you just really hate this guy. You hate this character. He's vile and disgusting. And as you proceed through the quest, you end up getting more backstory, and you realize that his wife was pregnant, and due to the struggle, she had a miscarriage. Then it gets weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a miscarriage. And this game is very much influenced by Polish folktales and stories and monsters. And I'm not really familiar with that kind of stuff. So when they got to the point where the monster's introduced in the quest, because there has to be, Switcher, the monster that is going around killing people is called a blubberkin or a lubberkin. And it's this tiny little demon with a long tongue. And it arose because they took the discarded fetus and buried it in an unmarked grave, and they didn't name it. And that would cause the baby to be cursed, rise from the graves as a demon, and you have to capture this lubberkin. And you have to fight it or try to bring peace to it. Have you guys played this quest? Because this is
Yes,
crazy
it's
sounding.
been a long time.
Yeah,
It was a
I
long
have
time
played
ago,
it.
but I did.
Yep.
And it's I don't want to say funny. It's just weird. Where
Yeah.
one of the paths to do this the correct way, I guess, is you basically find a doll, and you find pieces of the origin of the baby, and you basically have to convince the Baron to do right and to hold this demon baby and name it and ask for forgiveness, and then you bury it properly. And that's how you solve the quest the proper way. But this quest has ramifications through the whole first chapter, right? The Baron could end up dead through suicide. You could help him find his wife and daughter, or help find his wife, and you can console them and have them get peace. Or she dies at the hands of the witches later on. Like this quest is so bizarre and weird, but there's at least 5 different ways to do it that all impact the story in the first chapter. And I love it for the quest writing. Something about CD Projekt Red, they really nailed how they do their narrative, and it's a fantastic quest.
They're really good at making really, really memorable side quests, especially in The Witcher 3. I don't remember anything at all from Witcher 2, except for like how weird the combat was, but yeah, Witcher 3 is
same.
great.
Yeah.
Tommy time.
It's Tommy time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I want to talk about a game called Mass Effect, the first one, and I want to talk about the Virmire. It's technically 2 quests, but I'm gonna include it all in one because it's one planet. It's basically everything you could want in a quest line because it has so much stuff that I'm gonna get into. So essentially, the story of Mass Effect is, there's the bad guy Saren, right? That's his name, Saren.
Yeah.
That's him.
And he's got this big old ship that he's flying around in, and the Reapers are coming. You're like, what are the Reapers? And eventually you find out that his base is on this planet called Virmire, and so you have to go down there and you're gonna blow it up. The first part is like the typical stuff. You go and you gotta take out the anti-aircraft things so that more people can come in. And then once you meet up with the other people who want to assault the place, they're like, man, he's got a cure for the genophage. Isn't that crazy? Which is like a sterilization of the Krogan species. And you just happen to have a Krogan crewmate, Rex, there. And so he's like, oh, well, we got to go get that. I mean, he doesn't say it like that because he's a big giant guy, but essentially there's a conflict with him where he's like, we need to get that so that we can cure the genophage. And everyone's like, no, we don't got to do that. And so you have to either talk him down or shoot him. Like it's a tense situation, and whatever you decide for that has ramifications, because if you shoot him like I did the first time I played the game, you kind of have that hanging over you for the rest of the mission. And you go into Virmire, you go into the base and stuff, and you eventually come upon this communicator thing, and you communicate with Saren's ship, which you then learn isn't a ship. It's a Reaper. It's an actual living kind of being, and it talks to you in a way that like really sets the tone for what you're dealing with the Reapers, where he's like, you're nothing to me. Like, we're going to make you go extinct. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And you're like going into this thing being like, I'm going to take out Saren and we're going to stop the Reapers. And then this one single Reaper just treats you like you're nothing to them. And again, setting that tone of like, oh, this is going to be bad. You go through the mission, shoot more people, make more explosions, and then you finally plant the bomb, and then some unfortunate things happen, and you have to make a choice for which one of your crew members you want to sacrifice to go and set the bomb off, because someone has to manually do it, and you have to choose Ashley or Caden to go and sacrifice themselves to blow up the bomb, and then you lose another crew member. It's got so much stuff all packed into one quest that it's just nuts how many story revelations you get, how much world building, character growth. It affects so much of your crew just in one mission.
I always sacrifice the space racist to Ashley. She can go fuck herself.
I did too. Yep.
Every time. We're all on the same page.
Yeah. That quest is so good. I think his name is Sovereign, the ship's name, and it's just the voice, the way the wording, the dialogue is. That's a franchise I love, and I love the Reapers as a concept of what they do in their origin.
Fuck yeah!
And I was kind of upset when the third game first came out. They put this behind DLC, but there's a quest line called the Sleepers or something, or what the hell is it called? There's a quest where they go to the origin of the Reapers and why they look the way they do, why they look like squids, and there's an origin to it, and they put that behind DLC, and it pisses me off. Now, 20 years later, it doesn't matter because you played the Legendary Edition and it's all kind of built in. But the origin of the Reapers and then how they do what they do being explained was so satisfying lore-wise for me, and I really love that franchise.
I'm definitely gonna play Mass Effect 3 someday.
I still can't believe you talk about this fucking series on like every other episode of this show, but you haven't played the third game. You've played Andromeda, but you haven't played 3. What the
what? What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Have you played 2?
Yes. I played 1 and 2 multiple times.
Well, what about 2 put you off of playing 3?
Nothing's put me off. I just get burned out because I don't want to just jump into 3. I'm like, well, I have to play through 1 and 2, so I have all my story things going into 3, or my choices and stuff. But I always get burned out at 2. Or another game comes out, then I'm like, well, I got to play this.
Andromeda.
I'll get there eventually.
Gosh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, he'll get there.
I didn't like Andromeda. I never finished it.
That's fine.
But I didn't believe everything. I was like, no, it's good. All the reviews are wrong. And they weren't wrong.
No, it's fine. Like Mass Effect for me was never about the gameplay because they kept changing the gameplay for me. 1, 2, and 3. They
really
all
did.
played differently, but the story was really great. It's one of my favorite BioWare franchises.
All right, should I do like a more serious pick or a stupid goofy pick for my next one?
Yes. Stupid goofy.
Stupid
Goofy.
Stupid goofy? Jake.
Sure, I'll go with Goofy.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
It is unanimous. Okay, let's talk about have any of you guys ever played Illbleed?
No.
Oh, I like to cut the tree because I gotta cut the tree.
Oh my god. Okay, so in Illbleed, basically you're going through this basically horror amusement park, and it's the type of place where they want it to be as realistic, or they want you to be as scared as humanly possible. So like all the set pieces, all the actors, I guess they're gonna actually cause you harm, like they're gonna actually kill you, stuff like that. But it's a game that definitely does not take itself seriously. And so there's one part in the game toward the end where you, instead of playing as like the main character, Eriko, or whatever the fuck her name is, you instead play as this guy named Cork, who is like, he's this, I guess, like a parody of Indiana Jones or like Woody from Toy Story. And so he has a big crush on this doll called Sexy Doll, and it's literally just this doll of like a lady in a bikini, and she's bending over, and you see her huge ass. That's literally all the doll is. And the way they say her name all the time, sexy doll. It's so fucking stupid.
This is
Oh,
a Japanese game, isn't it?
yeah, dude,
well,
it's from
it was released on
Okay.
Dreamcast in North America. It's
Yeah.
this weird like
Yeah.
horror game show game that you play. It's very odd.
and the kid that owns Cork and Sexy Doll, he ends up dying, and he wants to be buried with his favorite toy, which is Sexy Doll. And it's this little kid, so he gets buried with Sexy Doll, and because Sexy Doll was buried with her toy owner, she goes to toy hell. Um, and Cork again, he has a big crush on Sexy Doll, so he wants to go save her. So he goes on this quest basically to go to toy hell. In doing so, he ends up getting, I guess, adopted by another kid. So he murders that fucking kid so he can get buried with the kid so he can go to toy hell. And you're in toy hell, and you fight this basically knockoff Sonic the Hedgehog. It's Zodic the Hell Hog, and it's the weirdest boss battle. Like you can't damage Zodic by shooting him. You have to shoot the rings that he drops, and it's wild. So you kill him, you're reunited with Sexy Doll again, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I hadn't played that much of it. I probably played like the first half of the game. I borrowed it from a buddy, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this back because I was taking too long to get through it. But yeah, that game in general is just such a weird
Super
ride.
weird. There's
I'm,
all
I'm
of
looking at
those.
Zodic the Hellhog, and that is a character design. It's
He's-
wild.
Yeah, it is.
I
He's
should-
pretty cool.
I've never even
dude.
heard this one. I should play this game. It looks.
I have
looks
mentioned
interesting.
Illbleed before. My co-hosts don't.
I
listen
don't
to me.
pay attention though, Wolf. I'm sorry. I should have listened to you because this game looks good.
There's a lot of like really dumb, like weird quest lines. If you don't even really want to call them a quest line, like there's one where you're in there's basically this main villain called Killer Man. Usually how you like progress each stage is you go through the level, find the boss, kill them and proceed. So instead it's like you go through part of the level and you find that like one of the workers for the park is dead. So it turns into this big murder mystery. And it's like, who killed this guy? And your choices are like you, the main character, or this other guy that works at the park, or this other guy that works at the park, or Killer Man, the dude whose name has kill in it, Killer Man. You have choice. You can choose him as like the killer, and basically you can talk to all the people and see if you can find clues about who killed this person that works at the park. And then it's like, hey, if you guess correctly as to who killed this guy, you'll get $1 million. Which you can actually get $1 million, but this whole time you're thinking,
Nice.
dude, it's there's no way it's Killer Man. Like it has to be somebody else. There's no way. The correct answer is Killer Man. So if you guess Killer Man, you get $1 million, and the game or not the game, that scenario ends.
Thanks, Aaron. Fun. Whoa. Wolf, do you know of any wild games or good quest lines?
Well, I have one more.
How's that for a
This
transition?
is not really
Love it.
a specific quest line either. This is more an overarching part of a story from Wild Arms 4.
Ooh,
Have you played it?
I haven't. I like the series though. I've played 1 and 2.
Wild Arms, one of my favorite RPG franchises. Wild Arms 4, I could not put that game down. Well, there's one character who, her name is Raquel. She's just this badass swordsman. She's supremely capable in combat. She's really sweet person, all this, right? Well, you're going on this adventure and she's always sort of reserved from the rest of the party. And one of the other characters starts falling in love with her and her somewhat back throughout the course of the game. Well, very late in the game, it comes to light that she has an incurable disease. And so her life expectancy is not long. And she's only like 19 in the game. So she's only she only expects like another handful of years in her life, right? And so she pulls away from the guy like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And he keeps trying to be like, why? And she finally goes, look, I've got this disease. It's incurable. We just, it's not going to work. And he's like, I don't care. I just want to be with you. Like, if you've only got so much time, that's all the more reason to spend it together. And so they do eventually, like after the game is over, they do eventually actually fall in love, get married, and even have a kid. But it's
Nice.
just this really deep moment in this game that's like, it's a JRPG. It dances back and forth between, really dramatic moments and silly moments. But this is like one of the heaviest moments in the franchise I've seen. And it just, they really dig into this, like, is it worth being involved with people if it's only going to result in loss? And ultimately they're like, yes, it is. And like, she's still one of my favorite characters to this day in the whole franchise.
That's all. I never would have expected that from Wild Arms. That's cool.
I think 4 is the best of the franchise. It's also the most strayed from the franchise in terms of mechanics.
So what I have is there's a game called Deus Ex Human Revolution. Came out a while ago now, I guess. I've always been wanting to replay it. I guess it's kind of a quest. I think there's like a bomb situation, and you have to find evidence where the bomb is located and all that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. One of the locations you have to visit to get information about this bomb is at a police station. And I love this game for the kind of the emergent gameplay during these quests.
Hell yeah.
Even though there wasn't a whole lot of plot to it, right? Most of the plot in Deus Ex was on the computer terminals, reading people's emails and creeping their messages. Like that's where most of the plot was. But the idea of like your quest is to go inside the police station, and you have multiple ways to do it. You can go through the front door, you can talk your way through, or what I like to do is I would do the whole stealth way of doing things, right? I would sneak in, and it's Deus Ex, so I would sneak in through the air vents because that's what you do. And I love the concept of your main character, Adam Jensen, who's wearing the leather jackets, the sunglasses, cyber sunglasses. He's too cool for school, and he's sneaking through the air ducts. I'm sorry for the noise in the background.
That's all good,
my
dude.
my mother-in-law is
That's
assembling a dog
the air
cage.
ducts.
Yeah, that's exactly the air
Yeah,
ducts.
someone's sneaking through the air ducts.
But I loved how you're skulking through the air ducts, and you would emerge from an air duct and stealth kill with your arm blades a detective, and the alarm would go off because somebody saw you because I was terrible ninja, and then I would just retreat into the air ducts, just I wasn't even there, and I wait 5 minutes for the alarms to go off, and then I would come out again, stealth take down somebody else, the alarms would trigger, and I go back into the air ducts. I would do this for an hour, just an hour, stealth killing every single cop in that station and eventually found the information I wanted to. But I'll always remember that quest just because of it let me do whatever I wanted to kind of get to the end goal. And there's multiple pathways. And my pathway was just be this dumb idiot emerging from the vents, arm blade killing, and then hiding in the vents for 5 minutes. And that was my badass assassin. And I just love that game.
I did the same mission. This was the last mission I did in this game, and I'll explain why. I also went through the air vents, but when someone spotted me, instead of retreating, I panicked and just sprinted forward and was just sprinting, getting lost in the police station. I went through like the bullpen. Everyone jumps out of their desk and is shooting at me. I'm just sprinting and jumping over desks. I eventually get through the front door and just run out and run away. And I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to play this game. And then I never played again.
We're just not cool enough to be Adam Jensen. We really aren't.
Jesus Christ.
No.
You get in trouble once and you're out. You're like a fucking you play that.
Yeah.
It's like when a little kid gets in trouble, they're like, who broke this window? And you're like, huh? I could just run out of the house, dude. Oh my god. Oh my
fun
god.
times. That's it. We probably have more. We have more suggestions, but we're I don't want to go too far on time. So that's it. Those are all the good quests. All the other quests in video games are bad.
That's true. Yeah.
Wulff and Jake, where can people find you and your podcast on the internet again?
You can find us-
PressBToCancel.com
There you go.
or youtube.com/@PressBToCancel. We do videos there.
Excellent. Go
That's
check
true.
it
I've
out.
seen them.
Please. These guys are cool. Aaron, where can people find us?
Superpodsaga.com. No,
Wonderful.
Superpodsaga.com. Previous episodes, blogs, socials, Patreon if you want to support us because we're cool and you're cool. Give us money. Cool. Okay. Superpodsaga.com.
Get that emotional support. Come on.
Exactly.
Yes, we need
Please
that
help
emotional
me.
support.
Please.
Yes. Thank you, Wulff and Jake. I don't want to forget to say that. Thank you for being here. Your
Thanks
answers
for
are so
having us.
Thanks
good.
for having us.
Aaron, what are we going to talk about next week?
Oh fuck.
I knew this was going to happen. It happens every episode.
How about most addictive games or just addictive
Oh,
games?
yes, that's a good topic. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to so many games.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week. Check out Wulff and Jake and other people, Jake and Wulff, whatever order they want it to be in, on Press B to Cancel, the podcast where they talk about video games too. And don't forget to check out more Super Pod Saga stuff because we like when you read our stuff and listen to us. Thank you for listening today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Guys, say bye.
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 So long.